Now to our other top story. Two dueling court orders leaves medical abortion in legal limbo this morning.
In an unprecedented decision, one judge has blocked the FDA of the approval of abortion drugs, while another issues a contradictory ruling just hours later. KTLA's Aaron Myers is live in the newsroom this morning to break down this ongoing legal battle over abortion rights. Aaron.
Good morning to you both. Access to the most commonly used method of abortion in the United States is now uncertain as judges in two different states, Texas and Washington, issued opposing decisions on the abortion pill mifepristone. A U.S. district judge in Texas ruled yesterday to suspend the FDA's more than 20-year-old approval of the drug, saying it violated a rule that allowed it to be approved at an accelerated rate. This ruling comes while a lawsuit challenging the safety of the drug continues. That lawsuit alleges that the FDA's initial approval of mifepristone did not adequately review its safety risks. The organization, the Alliance Defending Freedom, that filed the lawsuit, said the judge's ruling was a significant victory. The Texas judge's order did give the government 7 days to appeal his ruling, which has already happened. The lead attorney for the Alliance Defending Freedom had this to say after that ruling came down.
The FDA put women and girls in harm's way, and it's high time the agency is held accountable for its reckless actions. Pregnancy is not an illness, and chemical abortion drugs don't provide a therapeutic benefit. They can pose serious and life-threatening complications to the mother, in addition to ending a baby's life. The FDA never had the authority to approve these hazardous drugs and remove important safeguards.
The decision came nearly at the same time that a federal judge in Washington state directed U.S. authorities not to make any changes that would restrict access to the drug in the 17 states, plus the District of Columbia, which brought a lawsuit there. This lawsuit seeks to make abortion pills easier to obtain. Now, since the Texas ruling came down, the Justice Department and drug manufacturer have both appealed to a federal appeals court. The FDA has also said they stand by mifepristone's approval. The drug has been widely used in the United States since that approval and is one of the two drugs used for medication abortion in the country. Courts have usually deferred to the FDA when it comes to issues of drug safety and effectiveness. President Biden has responded, saying if the Texas ruling were to stand, there would be virtually no prescription approved by the FDA that would be safe from these kinds of political ideological attacks. He also said his administration would fight the ruling and seek an immediate stay of the decision. Many organizations and officials around the country have spoken out against the judge's ruling in Texas. The American Medical Association said it flies in the face of science and evidence. Planned Parenthood said the decision could threaten the FDA's role in this country's public health system, and if allowed to stand, would have broad and unprecedented consequences that reach far beyond abortion. And here in California, Governor Gavin Newsom released a statement saying that abortion is still legal and accessible here in California, and we won't stand by as fundamental freedoms are stripped away. Others, though, have supported it, such as the Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life America nonprofit, which called the decision a win for the health and safety of women and girls. These conflicting decisions could likely put the issue on an accelerated path to the Supreme Court. We are hearing protests are planned around the country today to speak out against the ruling in Texas. In the News Center, I'm Aaron Myers. Pedro, I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you.